Good evening and welcome to A Taste of Lavina, Poetic, Empress. And I'm coming at you tonight with Cynical, Insomniac, the poet with the hidden golden heart. How are you guys doing this evening? Well, while we're waiting for people to join, oh, pretty provocative poet, thank you for joining. How are you doing? Great interview this evening also. While we're waiting for Cynical to join, I have 3 books out. Deepest Thoughts by Lavina, Expressions by Lavina, and My Dirty Little Secret. They're all available on Amazon.com. Pamela, hey Queen, Tracy, mwah, love you. Thank you for joining, sweetie. I'm just waiting for our guest to come on to the show, and then we will get this party started. Oh, thanks. I'm good. I'm sure you are tired. You've been doing a lot of interviews and performances, but keep it up. You are amazing. Pretty provocative poet. Hey, Pam. So, I guess I'll take this time also to tell you guys about my one-woman show that's coming up. It's called The Taste of Lavina, Poetic, Empress. September the 18th, 2021 at 5:30 p.m. in Wilmington, Delaware at Artscape, 205 North Market Street. Well, you guys, Cynical is here. No worries. Very sweetie. Thank you. This is going to be a great show. Hello, lovely.
I have a 5-year-old, and there was a scary sound emergency, and that had to be taken care of.
She's okay.
It's fine.
Okay.
It was probably like a fly in her blinds or something. I don't know.
No,
I told her, I said, baby, I literally have to go right now. You're fine.
Oh,
I love you. She's fine. She's fine. Believe me, if you knew this kid, she's fine. So,
she's fine.
Sorry. Hi.
Hi, sweetie. Again, you guys, this is A Taste of Lavina, Poetic, Empress, and I'm coming at you with the poet with the beautiful golden hidden heart. I'll tell you why I say that. Cynical Insomniac is in the building.
Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome, sweetie. And you know, I got to give you one.
There it is.
There it is, honey. There it is.
Okay.
So, sweetheart.
Yes.
I'm going to get right to the questions.
Go for it.
When did you start writing and performing poetry?
Ooh, good question. Okay, so interestingly, I just started writing poetry in April of 2020.
Wow. You are amazing.
Thank
awesome.
you. Thank you. I have to preface that I wrote fiction for a really long time.
Mm-hmm.
And that was kind of my background in writing. Mm-hmm. I started out as a fiction writer. And yeah, I wrote fiction for like 20 years before I started writing poetry.
Awesome.
No, I've written books.
You didn't publish them? You have to. He was like, so I take it then
I like
you love poetry more? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's put it this way. This sounds like a weird way to put it, but I trust my poetry more than I trust my fiction. Okay. As far as like success, like how it'll do. And that sounds calculating probably and cynical. But that's one of the reasons that I didn't really do anything with my fiction, because it was good, but I didn't think it was like that good.
Well, I think people will just buy it based on you being who you are.
Yeah, that's
so eventually.
See, I wrote all of that before I was Cynical Insomniac. I wrote that when I was just writing under my real name. So maybe people would care.
You know what? Oh my goodness. I didn't even read your bio.
You did? Oh, didn't read my bio?
I was so excited.
I was late and got flustered.
I was just so excited to have you on the show.
I'm so glad.
I was like, wait a minute. I didn't tell them where you're from. And then, well, you answered being relatively new to poetry.
Yeah.
You're a spoken word artist from Columbus, Ohio. And you believe that if words are used correctly, that they can change the world.
Yeah.
And that is exactly what you try to do with your poetry.
That's right.
That is awesome.
It doesn't much sound like a cynic, but if you spin that out into words can change the world in a good way.
Right.
The other half of me is going, yes, but words also manipulate and separate.
Yes.
And destroy.
Yes.
And so we have to be very careful about what words not necessarily what words we share, but what words we intend and what words we put on paper and what words we do put out there, because words are powerful. And it can be a force of good or a force of evil.
A two-edged sword. It can
cause
pain or it can heal.
Exactly. Yes. So I'm trying to do more of the healing with my work.
Right.
Although one of my pieces tonight is brutal, and it's fiction, but it's brutal.
Well, I'm going to tell you, I have my I'm thinking I might go ahead and answer this question now then, because it's question number 3, but I'm just going with the flow of this.
Mix up the questions.
Some of your pieces are touching and they speak of depression, of which I admire your transparency.
Thank you.
But do you share that to help others?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's the only reason I share poetry like that, is because I believe that if we only share our successes and our positive feelings and our what other type of erotica, like other types of poetry, if we only share that, I think people who are going through a dark time may need something else.
Exactly.
And if it's not there, but that's something that I never thought. I didn't intend for my poetry to be personable, like to other people. Right. I was just kind of writing about myself.
Right. And
then people started telling me like, "Oh my God, me too." I'm like, "Wait, really?" And once I heard people's feedback of like, "Yes, me too. I feel that way sometimes too." Yes, and once I started getting that feedback, and I received some comments as well as some DMs that was like, "Thank you for what you do."
Right.
That's the only reason I share poetry like that, is because I've also gotten some comments from people usually not in the poetry community, because we're a very supportive community, but from other communities, gotten some feedback about some of my mental health poetry, and I don't care.
Because it needs to be said. It needs to be heard.
Yeah.
And Who better?
I'm sure there are plenty better, but I try.
When I say who better, because I think everyone is a genius in their own right. And I think, well, not think, I know everyone is gifted and talented, but everybody don't seek that out within themselves because it's in everybody. They just don't take the time to look within.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is you have the platform. This is your season. Why not you?
It's crazy. It's crazy. Like I you know, it's not like I have this crazy huge platform, but you know, it's like I said, it's I don't think any of us ever assume that anything we say will matter. Right? Or maybe I don't, because again,
you don't think anything you say would matter?
I didn't think that. I didn't think that. When I started poetry,
really?
Oh, like I didn't assume that my words would have an impact. I just didn't.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if that's lack of belief in myself. I don't know if that's cynicism. I don't know if that's all of that combined, probably that. But yeah, I don't know. Who thinks that someday they'll say something that people will want to buy, you know, or like it's crazy to say it out loud, but like it's true, right? Like how many of us wake up as kids or as beginning poets or musicians, whatever, unless we come in with this arrogance, which some do, but you know, how many of us think that our words are really going to make a difference until they start to make a difference? Then it's like, okay. Cool.
And you know, I understand where you're coming from when you say that, because years ago, I did hair for 28 years. And I remember when I was 14, I used to go into the salon all the time where I got my hair done and hang out. And they kept saying, why don't you go to school for hair? I was like, nobody's going to pay me to do their, their hair.
Yeah.
But lo and behold,
hey,
they did. Exactly. So I can understand you saying that.
Exactly. And it's like I started, and we'll talk about the workshop, but like I started.
Yes, because that's on the list also.
Workshop, but like when I started the workshop, before I started the workshop, I started doing some one-on-ones. And
why did you start the workshop?
Why did I start the workshop?
Yes.
Because
that you can do that?
Yeah, because I got so many comments and so much love, honestly, for my delivery. And yeah, Kay's she was one of the early workshop
K Music 1318. Thank you for joining.
Yeah, she was one of the early misfits. I think she was there for the first class. She may have been there for the first class. Early misfit. And yeah, I started it because honestly, externally, a lot of people in my life boosted me and said, no, they'll give a shit. They'll care. And the same thing with the one-on-ones. I didn't, like, who would care? This like 33-year-old redhead has to say about poetry. Like, who cares? But they do. And it's amazing that they do. That's and awesome. The workshop is so much fun. So much fun. Yeah, PvP started to help me with my delivery.
The pretty provocative poet said you started it to help him with his delivery.
No, he didn't need much help from the beginning, but he's also a workshop. He's also a misfit. And yeah, his delivery is fire.
Yes.
But
yes.
That's right. Yeah, you were there tonight, right?
Wait a minute. And you know he was on my show. So
yeah.
Oh yes, I do know.
Yeah, but
he asked me to bring out the book and be like, okay.
Yeah. No, I get the feeling, believe me. And yeah, so he was one of the ones the one really, especially with the one-on-ones, who said, Sin, they'll care. Like, they'll care. And people have booked me to do one-on-ones to help them with their delivery, because they're not, well, with their pen and their delivery, we do writes, you know, we do work. It's not just feedback. It's people write, and it's so much fun. So
that's what's up.
Thank you to people like him in my life, not giving me confidence, but kind of poking me and being like, why the fuck aren't you confident?
Yeah, it's an encouragement. It's a blessing when people
exactly.
come
It's
out
not
and support
that he's like handing me or they're handing me like their, you know, confidence from the outside, but kind of being like, find it yourself. But like find it within yourself, you know?
Right.
And really encouraging me to try to do that.
Right.
I'm trying.
That's what's up. I'm glad to hear that. Take this time and give some shout outs, please.
Well, first shout out, I already said, Pretty Provocative Poet. I mean, always got my back, always. So that's first. Yeah, the Misfits, the workshop, Nikki Speaks Volumes.
Okay.
She helped me a lot with the original book idea, which happened a while ago. She kind of sat me down and was like, okay, what do you want to do? When do you want to do it? And she's amazing. Y'all need to hit her up if you need any organization help in your life. Nikki Speaks Volumes.
That's awesome.
Yeah. But yeah, the Misfits, the Ain't Right Tribe. I've been spitting on the Ain't Right Tribe for a while. And Moody Black and, you know, the whole Ain't Right Tribe. So yeah, that's not a shout out.
Okay. That's what's up. Now, they came to hear you speak. Can I get 2 pieces, please?
2 pieces. Let's do it. So I'm going to start with a piece. Let me see here. Yeah, it's an oldie but a goodie. I'm still going to do it. Let's say I think people in the room have heard it. But I don't care because I love this piece.
Thank you guys for joining. Thank you.
Oh, what just happened? Sorry, my phone died earlier. Now computer's giving me issues, but it's good. We're good. So the first piece I'm going to do is Fragile, which I recently reposted to my page, but it's an older piece written last year. And this is kind of a good intro piece to Cynical, I think. So, Fragile. Women are supposed to be vulnerable. That's somehow attractive. Any hard edges are seen as a negative. We're supposed to be quiet. Not silent, not quite that draconian, but I guess the word I might be looking for here is compliant. We're told we're treated equally, but even semantically that isn't true. A man and a woman can act the same, but their attitudes and actions will be called by different names. For example, a man has leadership skills, but a woman is bossy. A man is a player, but a woman is a slut. A man is determined, but a woman is obsessed. A man is ambitious, but a woman is a climber. A man is confident, but a woman is arrogant. And a man is simply in a bad mood, but a woman, she's got attitude. They want us to look sexy at the beach, but then cover up if our babies need to eat. Come on, nobody wants to see that. Those sexual organs, unless you have a low-cut shirt on that shows everything but your nipples, and that's fine because that's normal. But breastfeeding? Use a blanket, please. These men are trying to sexualize you in their minds, and you're not making it easy with a babe at your breast, and it's making them queasy. They want to continue living their lives firmly believing that your firm breast belongs solely in their hands and not between some baby's lips. These perverse, internalized societal distinctions are so normal, we don't even see them as strange anymore. We don't see them as biased, prejudiced, baseless contradictions. We don't see them as anything that we need to change. Women should just get a thicker skin. Except It's often men who want us not to talk so much so that they won't have to do the work it takes to formulate an intelligible response, or in their minds, come up with something that might make us shut up long enough so that they can adeptly formulate a believable lie. And they tell themselves they're trying to think of something to say that won't make us cry. They're trying to spare our feelings because we're such fragile beings and they hate to see us cry. Except in certain situations, if they see no tears on our faces, suddenly we're cold bitches with no hearts, as if our feelings were erased. In reality, it makes them uncomfortable. It makes it harder for them to put us in what they think is our place, the place below them, the weaker position, the position from which we're supposed to honor and obey and listen and submit. They want us to be fragile. They want us to smile even if we feel dead inside, because the smile is not for us, it's for them. They want us to smile even if that day we feel like nothing more than the pretty peel wrapped around a rotten core of an apple. You want me to be fragile? Okay. I'll admit it. I'm fragile. But I'm strong. My fragility is deceptive, because you'll learn after long, I'm not fragile like a flower. I'm fragile like a bomb. And there's no wire you can cut once you've triggered my timer. There's nothing you can do but run. You will be caught in my fire, except years of being told how to act, how to speak, how to look, how to think. My bomb is ticking quickly now. It's ready to explode. I am woman. Hear me roar. You want fragility from me? Be careful what you wish for.
Honey. Honey.
Yes, ma'am.
Fire. Okay?
Thank
I
you.
love it. I love it. I love it. And then when you came in with the bomb,
Fragile.
brilliant.
That's actually a, I think it was Frida Kahlo. It's actually a prompt that I gave myself. It's one of my favorite quotes. She's not fragile like a flower. She's fragile like a bomb. And I was like, oh, I have to put that in something.
Yes. Yes. I love it.
So
excellent.
Thank you.
Oh my goodness.
Next piece. Yeah, I'll do it. It's another classic. Sorry, I told PPP earlier that I will decide on the spot. I decided on the spot. I'm gonna do it. Yeah, this piece is called Rate Your Pain. This is one of the mental health pieces. And I think this is one of the important mental health pieces. Because this system is fucked. Rate your pain. With 0 meaning dead and 11 meaning heaven, let's work on a scale of 1 to 10. So, on a scale of 1 to 10, how am I feeling today? Well, in my case, it gets a bit complicated, mostly because I believe that whole rate of pain number scale thing is relatively useless when it comes to gauging actual suffering and actual pain. I mean, I could say, yes, I'm depressed. I'm at a 3. Meaning what? A 3 can mean many different things to different people.
Come on.
Some of us with depression really never get to experience 10s. Some of us rarely get to feel 9s. So a 3 may not be too bad for them. But for someone who lives around 9, any prolonged period of living at 3 would be like slowly dying, being boiled alive or set on fire. The numbers are arbitrary. My 6 may be your 4, or vice versa. So I suggest that we replace this outdated, essentially useless system with something that makes much more sense. Words. Next time a therapist or a doctor asks you, so on a scale of 1 to 10, how are you today? Instead of saying 10, you could say, well, tomorrow's going to have to be worse because today is the best day of my life. Instead of saying 9, you could say, better than fine, thanks. I can't remember the last time I felt this way. If you want to say 8, stop yourself and say instead, it's been a great day. Solid. Thanks. But even as you say those words, your mind may be whispering, let's just hope it stays that way. But if you don't have that luck and you drop down to a 7, you can say, I can feel myself slipping, but I'm still living. I'm still thriving. For a 6, you could simply say the words, I am trying. And if you get down to a 5, you can say, I'm proud of myself that I'm not currently crying. A 4-level response could be, at least I'm here and faking a smile and not curled up in a fetal position on the floor. And I think we could all agree a reasonable response for a 3 would be, I have to be high to eat right now, because I would not have one single slice of appetite if not for the weed. What's a 2? 2 could be, well, thanks for asking, but my actual response would send you running. So I'll just say, I'm fine. And a 1 would be silence. Because out of 1, most people cannot function. Out of 1, if you have the energy or motivation to fake a smile or even speak, then you are a superhero. Because at my 1s, I barely have the energy or motivation to keep breathing. I understand this new system is not quite as quick or as catchy as our previous system, but let's try doing it this way. So, on a scale of 1 to 10, how are you feeling today?
Honey, honey, honey.
Thank you. You can tell I stand up when I perform, so I'm going to sit back down.
And that's fine. I prefer to stand also when I perform.
Yeah, it's
so that's no problem.
Around room.
No problem. And I see one. I don't see their name, but someone requested to come in. But this is a featured.
Yes.
Cynical is being featured tonight, and it's all about her. In any case, numbers is something that people, like I said, they want to rate people.
It's useless.
But honey, if they rated people according to what numbers meant, oh, rate me a 1 because it means God, honey.
And it's like, whose scale are we using here?
Exactly.
Whose scale are we using?
Exactly.
And it's so arbitrary and it's so subjective. And every single time I've gone to a therapist, there's some kind of questionnaire. And one of the questions is, on a scale of 1 to 10, no. It's useless. It's useless. Because the therapist's 4 may be dying, and my 4 is like a Tuesday.
Hello.
So, yeah. So that's what I mean by that piece being an important mental health piece, because I think that obviously that poem's not going to change the system, but the system needs to change because it's useless as it is.
Right. Right. Yeah. So that's what's up.
And the first piece, Fragile, those are honestly like my 2 talent show pieces. If I go into like a bigger talent show that's not just poetry, I'll do one of those 2 pieces.
Okay.
I'll do Fragile or Rate Your Pain, because those are kind of easily digestible for people who are not poets. Right. You know, like it's easy to keep listening. Hopefully. But that's the idea anyway. Is that it's easy to keep listening. And that's something I've learned, which, you know, we didn't talk about, but something I've learned is that in the poetry community versus like the talent community, like the rest of, you know, musicians, rappers, that whole different world. Right. Whole different world. And I've got fans in both, which is great. But like it's, yeah. So I'm glad to be here tonight where I can do those 2 talent show pieces, but also have 2 more pieces that are poets pieces. Okay.
She said that are poet pieces, but they were still excellent, excellent choices, excellent pieces.
Thank you.
I love it. I love it. I love
Thank
it.
you.
I love it. Now, Miss Lady.
Yes, ma'am.
I always ask, and you have the option to say no. That I always ask my guests if they can give me one of their deepest thoughts. Okay, based on the titles of my book. One of their favorite expressions. And if you choose one of your dirty little secrets.
Oh, man. What was the first one? The first one was deep thoughts?
One of your deepest thoughts, yes.
Deepest thought. I knew this question was coming too, and I didn't.
You know, I'll ask everyone who comes on the show.
I know,
I'm going to
I've
ask.
seen your show, and I'm
And I
like,
said, if they choose
I'm
not to
sitting here
share,
like,
it's
wow,
okay.
that's a really good question.
But I'm like,
Cynical,
I'm going to ask.
Could have just thought about it before. No, deepest thoughts. I think that thing about what's the dirty secret? I think the thing about words is probably my deepest thought. Is that words can truly change the world. Yes. But we have to be cognizant of what changes we're trying to make.
Right.
And yeah. So I think as far as deep goes, that's probably good for deep. I'm gonna need time for the dirty little secret because I don't even know what was the second one.
One of your favorite expressions.
Favorite expressions. I don't know. What's something I say all the time?
Just give me
I'm just trying to think of one.
Something you may say a lot. One of my favorite expressions, I say cool beans.
Oh, I do say okie dokie a lot.
Well, there it is, okie dokie.
I do say okie dokie a lot. I don't know. I'm trying to think of like something like cooler that no, I'm like I'm a white Midwesterner. I say okie dokie. Like
she's like, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, yeah, okie dokie.
That's cool. It's cool.
So I do say that. And I'm gonna need time for the dirty little secret. I'm gonna have to think about it. Did he say that before I said okie dokie? Oh, that's funny.
Well, we'll go to the fourth question. Well, wait. Before I go to the fourth question, I would like to shout out because Mr. William Washington is online. Romeo Donati stopped in. And I need you, because the screen is clear, so the words are faded out. If you could say, give some shout out to a couple of your
we got Angela,
the people that joined that
Angela,
you know. That would be great. And we thank all of you guys for joining tonight. Thank you.
Carla Jean 126.
Oh, Carla Jean, thank you. Appreciate you, honey.
And then Tortiz 2100.
Thank you.
And Dealey Patricia and William Washington PPP. Yeah.
Oh, thank you guys. We appreciate you joining and listening in tonight. Now, my next question is, you have an album out.
I do.
Share the name and where can they find it?
It's called Melodies Within the Grim. And it's available on all digital streaming platforms, Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes. Yeah, it's everywhere.
That's what's up.
And that's what's up. It was really fun. It was really fun to do.
That's what's up. I want 2 more poems, but I'm going to ask you this last question.
Sure.
You have merchandise. Who does your merchandise?
I actually do it through Teespring, which is Teespring, which is like a print on demand. So it's super handy for any poets or people in the room who want to do merch. Teespring is a good place to start. But yeah, it's on Teespring, and the link for that is in my bio. This is one of my...
Okay. That's what I was going to say. What's on your merchandise?
Yeah, okay. That. My logo, but I also have a lot of merchandise that has lines from pieces in them. So like I don't know if you've heard my piece, Pain Olympics, but I have a hoodie that says, my head may be underwater, and on the back it says, but I refuse to drown, which is a line from that piece. I have one from Fragile. I have some hoodies and some merch for Fragile. It says, I'm not fragile like a flower, I'm fragile like a bomb. Yeah. So I have a bunch of different types of merch. Some of it is just, with my logo, but some of it is also specific to my poetry.
Right. I like that. Awesome. Now, for everyone who has just joined us. Welcome to a taste of Lavina, Poetic, Empress, coming at you with the beautiful, hidden, golden-hearted, cynical Insomniac. She is definitely in the building.
Yeah.
With two more pieces.
With two more pieces.
The floor is yours, dear.
Okay. Let's do the erotica. Okay, so I can go more sensual. I can go more raunchy.
No raunchy.
Fair. Okay. So it's still a little bit of raunch, but I don't really have any like super sensual. So, but this one is called Lesson Plan. I'm here for this.
Wait a minute. Give me the title one more time.
Lesson Plan.
Uh-oh.
They always say it's the quiet ones who are wicked and bad. Mm. They always say it's the introverted ones who like to feel their hair pulled so tight that their heads jerk back and they bite their lip in pain and they're forced to arch their back and their muscles clench in all the right places. They're the ones who like the ropes and the blindfolds and the cuffs. They always say it's the teacherly types who are into the rough shit. I've been told like I look like a teacher. I suppose I do, don't I? Here's the secret. I am one. Just to give you a hint as to what I'm into, just in case you're wondering how to treat me if you're ever lucky enough to get close enough to be in a situation where you really need the details. If you ever do get lucky enough, close enough to see my mischievous grin and the sweat that sheens my skin, to watch my curls bounce, to watch this red turn to fire as the light shines just right. Watch it turn to fire right before I make you shudder and your eyes roll and your muscles spasm. You'll learn that I am not shy. I'll tell you what I want. If you're idiotic, though, and have one of those stupid, delicate psyches where a request is taken as criticism, just an inch to the left, if you pull that obnoxious shit, you'll be gone. That's for little boys and little girls, that bullshit little game. Like, when I pull out my vibrator, you think it means you're not enough for me? Shucks, if you weren't enough for me, you wouldn't fucking be here in the first place. So wipe that look off your face and twist the top on that thing. No, not too far. Don't start at level 10. We want to work our way up to me screaming your name. I'll probably code switch and slip into German, maybe into French before switching back into English. Ich werde dir sagen, dass du mich härter ficken solltest. That's me telling you to go harder. And don't respond with, are you sure? I am so sick of that shit. If I didn't mean it, I wouldn't have said it. I'm not going to break. Although I may melt like a puddle on the floor, so go harder. Und wenn du gut bist, dann werde ich gut spritzen. That one you can translate yourself. Take notes of what I say I like, and don't forget my pleasures. You better be doing your homework, because after all, I am a teacher. Remember?
Class has been taught.
Class is out.
Excellent, darling. Excellent.
Thank you. Thank you. And for the last piece I have is actually my newest piece. Mm-hmm. Where can I enroll? Actually my newest piece called Pillow. This is the piece that I was telling you about that is fiction. Mm-hmm. And I do like to say that for this piece, which you will see why.
Okay.
Pillow. It wasn't even my idea. That's what keeps occurring to me as I'm packing my things neatly in bags. The threesome didn't even appeal to me. I just wanted you. But you wanted more. More tits to fill your hands and more wetness on your tongue. And once you convinced me it was worth a shot, I thought, for you, I'll do it. And then you chose her. Well, we chose her. I let you keep believing towards the end that it was all you in that moment, leaning over and whispering, babe, what about her? But by now you know that even before you said the words, my eyes were tracing her across the floor. I still saw you, but I saw her more. Her blonde hair and pale skin. As soon as the words left your mouth, I remember a shiver of anticipation, and it made me hesitate. You were sweet, though. Nervous and sweet. Laughing and saying, you don't have to say anything, babe. I get it. Not her. And I shook my head. No. Let's talk to her. I couldn't believe my voice sounded normal because even the thought of getting her in our bed was intoxicating. As I crossed the room toward her, the drink in my hand suddenly surged in my system, and the feeling of intoxication was complete. Drunk or not, though, I needed her. Even then, in those first moments, it was more than a want. It was more than just desire. It was sudden and strong and thirsty and hot as fire, and it was absolute need. I thought, if she's straight, this threesome won't happen, because now I can't imagine anyone else's skin under my hands. Anyone else giving me a reason to trim my nails. I couldn't imagine breaking the bonds of the bedroom for anyone else, and to my delight, she wasn't straight. She also wasn't immediately super into me, which actually made it more fun. Surface flirting was there, but that's her default mode. It was fun to flex those muscles so long out of use, especially with you looking on. That made it better somehow. Like it was condoned. Your idea, in fact, when even in the moment I knew what I felt so strong, such a pull, I should have said no when you suggested her as our third, but I didn't care. In that moment, I needed her. But I'm not claiming love at first sight or that I had a moment of stupidity at the shock of her beauty. I had many opportunities after that first night to slam on the brakes, but after that first night and seeing the smile on her face as we reclined both on your chest, you probably thinking we're both thinking about you, but the truth was in that second, you had become a pillow. Nothing more than pretty furniture. Our eyes were only for each other. And even then I began thinking, but God, this wasn't even my idea, because I knew it had already gotten dangerous. I knew it would tear it apart. And obviously I wasn't wrong. But this bag is getting heavy with things that have shared space with your things for so many years. They don't even feel like mine anymore. I feel like I'm stealing. But the girl who stole my heart is waiting for me outside, and I need to leave before I start to cry, and I just can't stop thinking this wasn't even my idea. As if that solves anything or explains away what happened. I know it doesn't. But while the threesome wasn't my idea, I'm grateful that it happened for obvious reasons, but also to know that if I ever want to keep my heart, I should never have another.
Now,
yes.
That poem, if you said it's fiction.
It is. It's so I am bisexual, so it's a possibility that something like this could happen, but it didn't. Mm-hmm. This was a fiction piece written for a show last night. Yeah.
Right, but the fact that you did that, it was like I equated it to an actor.
Thank you.
Because an actor can get so into character that they make you dislike them, or
right.
Because that's the best thing I go.
That's why
And then, no,
that's
and
why.
I'm not saying I dislike the poem, but the acting was so good. You can't dislike the characters. Like the movie Split. That guy was so convincing. I was like, oh, he got to be crazy in real life. You understand what I'm saying? Your poem, the deliverance, you understand your facial expressions and whatnot. Oh, you got it.
Thank
But
you.
it's something you didn't even experience, but you were able to relate.
No, and I have one other completely fictional poem that I do that's even more acting, I guess, than this one. I feel like it becomes real at some point in the universe. I mean, and in a way, because I wrote fiction for so long, I have that background, you know.
Okay.
I have that. I can pull from that fiction background.
Right.
And yeah, I never happened, but it's a super fun piece to perform. Because like you said, I even hate myself a little bit when I'm like, God, it's brutal. Oh.
Yes, because you give a great performance, the delivery and everything.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining us. Thank you for performing. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for your golden heart.
I don't know why you keep saying that.
You need to let it shine, sweetie.
I don't know why you keep saying that.
I'm telling you, you have a beautiful golden heart.
Thank you.
Don't let nobody tell you otherwise.
I need to not let myself tell myself otherwise. I think that's like my biggest thing, honestly, is that is what I've noticed too, is that like a lot of it is me putting me down. Not
and you shouldn't.
Anyone else putting me down. Some of it is other people putting me down, but usually
we don't care what they say, because it's your opinion and what you believe about yourself that matters. Their opinions don't matter.
Right.
And that's why I'm like, yes, you need to, first of all, you have to own it. You got to own who you are, because you're so powerful. You're so talented. You're so gifted.
Thank you.
And your heart, the fact that you want to help people, because of course, before I ask somebody to come on, I go through their pages, and you know, I listen to your poetry, I listen to what you're saying, you know, and people who don't care or really care about themselves, they don't care about other people. Why would you want to help someone else reach their best?
Yeah.
If you didn't have a beautiful golden heart, honey.
Well,
so yeah.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. And thank you for having me. And
You're
thank you for everybody who came out and for all the nice comments. I appreciate you guys.
Yes, and thank you guys for staying. Thank you. This has been an excellent time with Cynical Insomniac on A Taste of Lavina, Poetic, Empress. And we bid you all a peaceful, joyful good night.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you, Lavina.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Thank you, my lovelies, for joining. I really appreciate it. And if I didn't call you guys' names, please know that I sent waves out, but for me to see the screen, and sometimes the names, they were coming in so fast. And I also don't want to mispronounce anyone's name. But in any case, thank you all. Have a wonderful, wonderful night. And we'll see you next Tuesday at 10 p.m. Thank you. Good night.